We're going to be talking about bondage bears next. Extraordinarily, the Balenciaga label, the fashion label, has pulled its Christmas campaign, which featured little babies, children, together with teddy bears in bondage gear. What do these people think of, Sam? What is going on in their minds?
Yeah, I just think parents are doing absolutely everything it takes to keep their kids away from this dangerous filth that litters the internet and everything else. And for these deviants, these bizarre, wrong-headed lunatics that infest our major corporations, ad companies, all the rest of it, to just put this disgusting, nasty material on the internet. Honestly, I think these people are deluded. I think there's something wrong with them. I think they're deviants. I think they need locking up. I think they need medical help. I think parents are sick and tired of this nastiness just filling our YouTube, television and all the rest of it.
First, let's talk about Balenciaga. That's that fashion label that sells you rubbish trainers that look like they're kind of 50 years old, covered in mud, and they cost about £1,000. But anyway, they've had this lovely festive campaign, Christmas campaign, featuring children, little kids, babies, and teddy bears in bondage clothes. Unbelievable. So they've had to pull this entire campaign and apologise for any offence caused. They said, we sincerely apologise for any offence our holiday campaign may have caused. Our plush bear bags should not have been featured with children in this campaign. We have immediately removed the campaign from all platforms. So why did they do it in the first place? I mean, what is the matter with these people? We're showing you some of the more acceptable images, but some of them are just unbelievable. I mean, these are grown adults who work for this company. They can't work out this isn't appropriate. It's not right to feature babies in the same picture as anything wearing bondage outfits, is it? What on earth are they thinking? Let's talk to media and PR guru Mark Borkowski. Morning, Mark.
Morning, Kev. Good morning.
I mean, you know, you could argue that sometimes companies like Balenciaga, they do this kind of thing in order to be eye-catching, to make headlines, to get talked about. But not this one. This was a misfire. They made a big mistake here, didn't they?
Well, a huge mistake. I mean, yes, you're right. You know, fashion brands, high-end fashion brands want to be edgy and cool. We've seen it over the years playing around with sort of, you know, heroin chic and, you know, a really outrageous photography that's got people talking. But this is beyond the pale. And what I find extraordinary about this is the amount of people who are being thrown under the bus by the brands, when anybody who's been involved in fashion or in photography, in advertising, know that the process of going around choosing the photos, getting the shoot right, is extraordinary process of length and time and sign off. So to start blaming the photographer and the photographer blaming the brand and Instagram posts, and people are in a blind panic about this. And the one thing that has been picked up is the safety of the kids on that shoot. Being exposed to that type of photo shoot. Yeah. And we, again, look back at some of the rock and roll albums now that the Nevermind baby was suing the brand because he felt he's exploited. Well, if these kids in 20 years' time want a class action, they're going to make a lot of money if Balenciaga is still around.
Yeah, so the statement that Balenciaga put out, I just read you the main tranche of it. You know, we have immediately removed this campaign from all platforms. But as you say, Mark, it goes on to blame other people. It says, we apologise for displaying unsettling documents in our campaign. We take this matter very seriously and are taking legal action against the parties responsible for creating the set and including unapproved items for our Spring 23 campaign photo shoot. We strongly condemn abuse of children in any form. We stand for children's safety and well-being. Well, that's just ludicrous. So, the photographers took the pictures. The company must have known about it. The company put the campaign out, and now they're trying to say, oh, it's not our fault. It's the photographer's fault. That's nonsense.
Well, they've paid some crisis PR company a lot of money for that statement. Of course, they knew about it. And as I return to my point, none of these photos will have been chosen by the photographer. It will have been chosen by the brand and the CMO, the chief marketing officer. It's a pathetic statement, which nobody, in fact, if you look across social media last night in the woke fashion world, thousands of sort of wokies are coming out saying, you know, putting their palms against their foreheads and saying this is the worst example of exploitation they have seen. Now, these brands have spent years getting away from the sweatshops they used to produce this work. And I'm not suggesting Balenciaga used sweatshops to create their fashion, but it was a big issue for the fashion industry to actually do a lot of work to get away from child exploitation. And they've put themselves back into that. And the documents they're talking about in that show is an edgy document, as I understand it, around a sort of recent bill in America about child pornography. So clearly there was an identity of some subliminal sort of marketing edgy message within this, is to create a storm. But I'm afraid the tsunami against this brand is significant, because when the fashion world is now up against you, and this is a brand that dumped Kanye West for anti-racist tweets not a month ago.
That's a good point.
So they're quick to attack anybody that's fallen into disrepute, but they're not going to suck it up themselves.
As like I say, Mark, it's just a beggar's belief that they ever let this campaign go out.